This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup, register, and attend one of our fantastic networking meetings, which we meet on the first and third Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park, and the second and fourth Thursday at the Upper Crust in Newtown Square. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Shannon Elliot of Harvey Oak Mercantile. Shannon, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Shannon, what is Harvey Oak Mercantile?
Okay. Harvey Oak Mercantile is a gift shop and boutique based in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. We pride ourselves on having a very unique curation. We start local first in terms of sourcing the product and goods that we have, because we've got a ton of very talented makers that live right here in Delaware County. So we start local first, and then I kind of source outward from there, kind of going to craft shows, trade shows, meeting people online, recommendations, things of that nature. So try to source small businesses as exclusively as well. So that's we have a few respected brands for certain things that are kind of known more nationally, but majority of what we offer here in the shop is local and small, people who are really, really close to what they do. In terms of the categories, it's the mercantile kind of helps encapture everything, a little bit of everything. So like a general store. The shop started out in 2014 as more of a garden and gift focus. And then I took over in 2018 and layered on the boutique aspect. So we do have clothing, majority women's clothing, but we do offer some novelty items for men. We have new baby gifts. And then we do have full line of accessories, bags, jewelry, socks, hair accessories, all kinds of things. And then we also venture into bath and beauty, candles, home decor, a little bit of everything. Because again, I try to keep it open based on who I meet and what our customers are looking for, and just kind of keep it interesting and changing often as well.
You mentioned you find and develop relationships with those that are being sold at the Harvey Oak Mercantile. What are some of those items that are just always in stock, flying off the shelves? You just can't stock enough of them.
Okay. So I'd say the newest items, about kind of going on a year now, that has been the go-to is candles from the Delco Effect. So I don't know if you've met Leon yet. Him and his wife won Delco Entrepreneurs of the Year award last year. But I was lucky to meet them at a craft show right here in Swarthmore. And Leon was like, I want to make you a candle for your shop. So in the shop, when it does smell very good in here when you come in, because there's soaps, there's candles, there's aroma sticks open. So anytime anyone comes in, majority of the first thing they say is, it smells so good in here. So he's like, I'll make you a candle and I'll have it say Harvey Oak Mercantile. And I was like, no, I wanted to say it smells so good in here. So he developed a scent for me that it's a combination of 3 different notes, and it just smells so good. So when people are like, what is that smell? I now can recommend the It Smells So Good in Here candle. And that's one where he's just been pouring it nonstop for me to keep that one in stock. And then there's a jewelry maker who lives right here. My shop's on Park Avenue in Swarthmore. She and her family live on Park Avenue. We met years ago, and she does the kind of celestial inspired jewelry line. Her work actually caught the attention of Philly magazine back in 2018 when I won Best of Philly for being a jewelry destination. So she works in sterling silver and rose gold, but mostly posts, small pieces. But she has these heart earrings, infinity earrings, a lot of little mini gemstones. Those are the ones that kind of are attractive to everybody. So someone wants to come in and buy a gift for the niece, they work. They want to buy a gift for their grandmother, they work. They kind of cover all generations. And I'm always working with Kat to keep those in stock too. So those are 2 examples of some locally sourced and excellent sellers.
Delco Effect is, so far, until this episode, the number one listened to podcast episode that we've
Oh, okay.
done. And what I would say is we have Delco Effect candles throughout the house. And yes, it does smell so good. So I can
He does a good
attest to
job.
that. Now, what I find is, and what a great service that you provide, obviously, you work with these amazing artists and these amazing craftspeople all over, but some of them, you're providing that outlet, that venue where they can sell direct to the consumer, where you don't have to wait for a market to come up, a craft show, and you don't have to wait to order on their website. Do you see that as being an integral part of that direct to consumer, or that, where you're meshed with those craftspeople?
Yeah, it basically was the inspiration for doing this. I was in like a transitional year in my career, and I was volunteering at the Swarthmore Farmers Market. And, so that's a weekly event. Everyone comes, unpacks everything, puts it up. 3 hours later, pack it all back up. And every week at the Swarthmore Farmers Market, we have a featured artist. So those, of course, I was over there shopping every week and chatting with them and learning more about their model and, asking them, well, where does all the product go when you pack it up? And they basically were like, in my closet, in my trunk, and I was like, well, would it help to have, a resource? Because I was thinking about, I have a background in corporate retail, and I was thinking about having my own shop, but I wasn't sure yet, what to kind of focus on. And once I started talking to more and more of these makers whose amazing work was sitting in their trunk or closet, I was like, that's it. I can, have this place where we can expand the assortment of local makers and get more exposure for them year round. And that's been working very well. And it also has led for me and another business owner here in Swarthmore, Martha Perkins of Gallery on Park, to co-curate and organize the Swarthmore Makers Market 2 times a year, which brings about 90 artisans to town. So it kind of that chain effect just continues to roll on. So we now have this amazing market that is very successful for the makers. And then they meet us, build a relationship with us, and between her art gallery and my gift shop and boutique, we try to represent. I mean, I think we're both close. We're total close to over 100 local artists, and we have less than 1,000 square feet of space. So yeah, it is really about making those connections. It's about them walking in with their product and dropping it off. Not that there isn't some that comes from further afield and you need to get it delivered, but there's nothing better than when they walk in with their boxes and come and show you what they just made or what they just finished or how they updated their packaging, because they're always thinking and making things better. And, and then having a customer walk in and grab something that the person who made it is standing right next to them is priceless. It's just the best feeling. It happens every time. It's like clockwork. Like someone comes in to drop off, someone walks up to the register with their product, and I get to introduce them, and it's magical. I love it.
It's a little bit of research and development when they see what may be selling, what may not be, what may be appealing to people, what may be holding people back. So you also provide that outlet for people to get a sense of, all right, am I on the right track? I thought, making pins for cats was a good idea, but maybe not. We'll switch to llamas because everybody has a llama. I don't know.
Llamas are hot.
it's that kind of feedback that you also provide those craftspeople too, doesn't it?
Definitely. And then because I get to hear from the customers, an example of story I have told before, but it's like worth telling again is I have a local maker. They're a woodworker, but they also work in candle making, and they make beeswax candles for me, like taper candles, like fun shapes, things like that. So I've had a customer several years in a row say, I wish I could find bayberry candles locally, because he grew up with a tradition of burning them every Christmas Eve in his home. And some people have a tradition of burning them New Year's Eve in their home for good luck. So there's this tradition attached to them, as well as it's an amazing gift to give somebody who maybe hasn't heard of this tradition or hasn't participated before, but he couldn't find them locally. So I brought it up to one of my makers. She did the testing. She figured out how to do it, within reasonable cost too, because that's part of the research and development too. And even with local product, the price can't be, too out of reach. You need to make sure it's an appealing price point. So she figured all that out. And the first year we sold over 100 pairs in like a couple weeks, like of tapers. And then now it's just continued. And now people come back year after year and are like, do you have the bayberry candles? Like, yes, we've got the bayberry candles. So it's like this customer feedback, almost like a cooperative type of relationship. Obviously sometimes someone will say like, I wish you had pins for cats. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to find pins for cats, but I try my best, if they have requests or like one random one was someone said, I wish I had, I wanted a magnet for my dishwasher that says clean, dirty. Well, one of my I did have a PA magnet maker who does like wood cutouts. And I was like, do you have a clean, dirty? I'm like, of course. So it was funny. Like I was able to fulfill that, specific request and learn about a new item that might be interesting to people.
For those that are looking for a gift for themselves, they have an event coming up and they need to have that wow gift or that one that's going to say, how did you know me? How did you think of that? What are the hours that people can stop by the Harvey Oak Mercantile?
So we are open 6 days a week. So that's something we are always committed to. And coming soon during the holiday season, it's every day from Black Friday to Christmas Eve. But yeah, all year long, 6 days a week. We are only closed on Mondays. So Tuesday through Sunday, we are here. We typically open at 11 and say close at 5. It's just a little earlier on Sundays. But other than that, you can always find us 11 to 5 here in town. Swarthmore is a little sleepy in the evening, so our evening hours are limited to during the holiday shopping season. We'll have later hours, and then we do host a large number of events here in Swarthmore, like at least 2 a month of evening, whether it's a food festival or a night market, things of that nature. And we're always open during night events in town.
Give that address on Park one more time.
4 Park Avenue, and for those who haven't been to Swarthmore, because we're kind of hidden, like if you come down Chester Road, there's the traffic circle that probably makes everyone crazy. But if you just go around the circle, you miss us. But if you hop off the circle's exit and come into town, you'll find not only us, but, local coffee shops, restaurants, vintage clothing, thrift, stationery, but tons of different independently owned Delco-based businesses here in Swarthmore.
If somebody wanted to reach out to you and inquire about a specific gift they might be looking for before stopping by, how do they connect with you?
Yeah, so I am available. I answer all Facebook and Instagram messages personally. I have an email address, which is just my name, Shannon, SHANNON, at harveyoak.com. And they can call me anytime too. It's funny because during the pandemic, I got rid of the shop phone because no one was there and it was mostly spam. And then I ended up not putting it back up because we do actually have a website. It's a little under construction right now in terms of expanding items at harveyoak.com. But I always provide my phone number is also my personal number. So people are sometimes confused. So like, I'm sorry I called you. I'm like, nope. This is my 24/7 Harvey Oak Mercantile connection line. So they can also call there too.
You're out and about in Delco and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you going for cheesesteaks?
Okay, so I recently discovered the cheesesteaks at Desert Rose in Media, and I was really impressed. I don't know if it's because of the way they shave the meat off the spit or something, but it really hit. And I'm a Philly girl, so I've had a number of cheesesteaks in my life, but that was my favorite Delco one recently.
How about a pizza craving? Where are you going for pizza?
Well, if I had my choice, again, like I said, I'm a Philly girl, so I'm going to give this one away. But I would have to go to Emilio's Pizza because I grew up with Emilio in Southwest Philly, and that was our go-to, pretty much daily during some years of our lives. And I still just love the combination of his sauce and cheese flavoring, and it's a classic. And so I would recommend anyone who hasn't tried Emilio's Pizza to check it out.
Wawa or Royal Farms? For a convenience
Wawa,
store option.
for sure.
Wawa for sure. Shannon, how do you describe Delco to somebody who's never heard of Delco or has never been here before?
How do I describe it to someone who's never been here before? Oh, that's the one I had to pause on. And I did like read the questions ahead of time, and I was like, how do I describe Delco? Like, I feel like it's this funky little pocket of the world, like, because it's kind of its own thing and a little bit inclusive, but at the same time, it's at the center of all things PA for sure. Like, you've got like anyone you meet has a connection to a Philly sports team and a story to tell about their connection to the sports team. There's this like eclectic music scene that goes on here. I know three people who have toured the world that live in my town, like kind of like it's like a hidden gem and filled with just like eclectic little corners everywhere you turn. I feel like the world mostly knows it as like, funky accent and just kind of probably a little bit of like a tougher PA county, but it has a lot of soft spots too and a lot of beauty too.
You have friends or family coming in from out of town, and besides taking them to Harvey Oak Mercantile, you want to take them or give them that Delco experience. Where are you sending them, or where are you taking them?
I would where am I taking them? I would take them to like Tyler Arboretum, kind of do like a nature trail after like kind of hitting all the Swarthmore spots, of course, like because we've got Scott Arboretum here as well and got plenty of hiking trails. But I would go to Tyler Arboretum. I feel like it feels like you're a world away from the city, and escape in nature. Um, where else am I taking them? Lynn Villa, I think, is a great spot, especially if you can hit the Ship Bottom Beer Garden, because like it's so cool how it's built into an old barn that way. I feel like that's really unique. Definitely tell people to go there. And where else? Where else am I taking them? I'm probably excluding media. I mean, I would probably take them to media, but more just to kind of maybe restaurant hop and try out some good eats.
Sounds like a great day. When do we leave? Shannon, is there anything we haven't spoken about today about you or Harvey Oak Mercantile that you'd like the listeners to know more about?
I guess I just want to kind of make another plug for the other side of what I do is this volunteer arm that is organizing these events. Like I mentioned, the Swarthmore Makers Market. I also work with a group of business owners. We're a very tight-knit business community. So I love that the other business owners and I have a great relationship. We partner on events. We are now hosting these quarterly night markets. Our next one is October 25th from 5 to 8 p.m. And all of these different events that I've had the pleasure of organizing, kind of turn the town into a festival town, which I think is just such a great asset to have for people, just to have a place where streets shut down, there's food, there's music, there's craft, and it's just like good vibes and family friendly. So I just love being able to create that type of environment for my community. And during most of those events, I'll benefit too if people come in and shop. But overall, I just love that vibe of having people discover our community and have a good time.
People may wait for others to create that community that they want to live in. Shannon, you create the community that you want to live in. You help impart the things that you want to see in your community. Thank you so much for being a friend of What's Happening Delco. Thanks for spending some time with us today. And head on over to Harvey Oak Mercantile. Wow your friends. Buy something nice for yourself and say hi to Shannon and tell her that you heard us on heard her on the What's Happening Delco podcast. So Shannon, thanks for your time today.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.